What's going on, man? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the basement. I'm Ron, and today we got something a little bit different. This is usually a football channel, fantasy football type focus. I love college basketball. This is my favorite time of the year, man. When it's March, the bracket just came out. We're all filling out our brackets, trying to win our March Madness pool, trying to chase the bag a little bit. Everyone's trying to find that Cinderella team, those 13 versus 4 upsets, the 12 versus 5 upsets. So today I wanted to hop on the mic, talk about my favorite Cinderella teams with upset potential, guys that I think are going to be this year's Loyola Chicago. Now, I don't even want to have a huge, long-winded intro because I just want to talk ball with you guys. So, as always, you can follow me at @RonStewart_ on Twitter. Make sure you go down below, subscribe, leave a like.
Walker on McGee with 4. Kemba Walker, step back. Walker, cardiac Kemba.
Let's go.
Dirty soda and styrofoam. Spill the day to get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200 miles on.
When we're trying to figure out which of these teams are the next Cinderella teams, we got to figure out what that slipper looks like. You know, we got to figure out what type of shoe do they need to fit into to qualify as one of these teams. So the criteria is going to be 10 seed or lower, so double-digit seeds. And the teams that I like to go after as Cinderella teams, as low seeds that get big upsets, are teams that shoot well, because you need to make shots to advance. You need big time buckets. I want good 3-point percentage, good free throw percentage, and a good efficiency field goal percentage, which is pretty much just a field goal percentage that's adjusted for 3-pointers and the difficulty of 3-pointers. And a good example for this, like we were talking about, Loyola Chicago. They made countless buzzer beaters. They came out big. They were hitting big time shots all the time, every single fucking round. They made it all the way to the Final Four, and it wasn't by coincidence. It wasn't just some fairy magic from Sister Jean. It was because this was a solid team that was an 11 seed. They probably should have been more like an 8 or 9 seed, 7 seed, 6 seed, something along those lines. They made a historic run on good shooting. They were 43rd in offense, 63rd in offense, 17th in defense. They were 7th in efficiency field goal percentage, 17th in 3-point percentage, 130th in free throw percentage, so average. And when you're looking for these teams, you want experienced guards. So they had 2 senior guards, a top 20 defense, and they just had an overall experienced team. That's what you want to look for. You want those experienced guards, good shooting, low turnover numbers, and a solid defense. It's rare to find every single one of these aspects, but these are kind of what I'm zeroing in on when I'm looking at these teams. First up, out of the Atlantic Sun Conference, we have Liberty, and this is probably the team that fits all of these molds and all these numbers to the best, to an absolute T. They shoot the shit out of the basketball. They're 4th in efficiency field goal percentage, 11th in 3-point percentage, 21st in free throw percentage, and they don't turn the ball over with the 19th best turnover rate. This would make sense because of their age. This is a team that's old. This is a team that's experienced. Their 2 leading scorers are junior and senior guards. This kid, Derek McGee, I love his game, man. He's playing out of his mind. He's shooting 40% on threes with over 8 attempts per game. And on top of that, he's balling out of his mind, and he's only 5'9". And he was a part of that tournament run that they had in 2019. In 2019, this same Liberty team, they upset number 5 Mississippi State as a 12 seed in the first round. I think they could do it again. There's a lot of players from that team on this team, 3 of the starting 5. Darius McGee was on that team too, and they got a pretty, I wouldn't call it a cakewalk their first matchup, but it's a winnable game. Now remember, this is a team that's hot. Liberty is hot. They are on fire. You touch them, they're smoking right now. They have won 12 straight, and they're going against an Oklahoma State team that I think the 4 seed for Oklahoma State's a little bit generous. On bartorvik.com, I'll link it down below, but he says by the numbers, Oklahoma State is 33rd in overall efficiency, which is pretty much, your overall efficiency is almost like your power rating of what you would be on a neutral court against an average team in the NCAA. So he has them as the 33rd best team, and sandwiched between a team in Duke that missed a tournament and a bunch of other 7 or 8 seeds and 8 or 9 seeds. It just sandwiched in a spot where Oklahoma State probably didn't deserve a 4 seed. When you look at it, they're 33rd. So a 4 seed in theory should be, you have 4 1s, 4 2s, 4 3s, 4 4. So that should be 13, 14, 15, 16. They are not only not in the top 16, but they are not even in the top 30 in terms of overall efficiency and what their power ranking is. And the reason that is because the committee does like their seeding pretty much solely based off of resume. It's not based off of numbers. It's not based off of efficiency, anything like that. And that's where you can kind of get that edge. Now, I think a lot of people are going to say Oklahoma State, they're on fire. They're playing very well. I personally say they're a very inexperienced team. Their starting lineup is made up of all underclassmen with only one junior, no seniors. I get that Cade Cunningham is great. Cade Cunningham, first team All-American. Cade Cunningham is going to probably be the first overall pick in the draft. But that's not a selling point for me. I think that's going to be the reason why a lot of people are on Oklahoma State in your bracket pool, anything like that. And you want to fade that. You never want to really go after a team that's built on a freshman, because if they were, remember, Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish were 1, 2, and 3 all on Duke, and they still did not win the national championship. Teams that win are very rarely built on one and dones, especially a team that's not a blue blood. Oklahoma State's not a blue blood. So we're talking about guys like Trae Young, DeAndre Ayton, Michael Porter, Ben Simmons, all these guys that failed to make it past the second round of the tournament, past the third round of the tournament. They usually don't make those deep runs. So I'm cool with taking a flyer on a team like Liberty against a team like Oklahoma State. Now, I'm not saying for any of these teams it's an automatic dub, yes, lock that the fuck in, but I'm saying that these teams have upset potential, and you can kind of talk yourself into a scenario where it happens. After that, we got probably the weirdest team on the list. We have Colgate. They're 14-1, but here's the thing. They have played 15 games against only 5 teams: Army, Holy Cross, Boston University, Bucknell, and Loyola, Maryland. They have played each of these teams, like some of them 4 times, some of them 3 times. Because of COVID, they've really kept their circle close. So they literally only have played 5 different opponents this year. But what I will say is, since their second game of the season, they are 13-0 in that span. And it's hard to, as much as you want to knock them for not playing against good opponents, for not playing against different opponents, it's COVID. This is what their conference forced them to do. I have a hard time holding that against them. But they check almost all the boxes in terms of the numbers in these games. They're 5th best in efficiency field goal percentage, 3rd best in three-point percentage, shooting 40% from 3, decent at free throws at 98th, a legit top 40 defense, and they turn the ball over at the 5th lowest rate. So this is a really solid team, really developed team. And not only do they shoot well, don't turn the ball over and defend the 3, they got 3 leading scorers in Jordan Burns, Jack Ferguson, and Nelly Cummings that are all senior guards. So this is exactly what you want. You want those senior guards. These are going to be seniors, experienced players handling the rock at the end of games. You don't want some random freshman. Cade Cunningham, like I was saying before, he is dope. He is a really good player. He's going to be a great NBA player one time, but I have watched so many crunch time minutes of Cade Cunningham. There was a game against TCU early in the season where I think it was like 15 seconds left on the clock, maybe tie game, maybe down 1, and he immediately drives up the hoop, bricks a layup. TCU comes back down the other side and wins the game off of a layup. In that situation, a senior will know, especially a senior guard will know you hold the ball, you get last possession. They've been there before. They've been in conference tournaments. They've been in college games. They haven't just been playing high school games their whole life. These are players that can't just get by off of raw physical tools. They have to have that high IQ. Those 3 players I was talking about, those 3 senior guards, are shooting a combined 43.5% from 3 on over 12 combined attempts per game. They're going to give teams a lot of problems, man. I'm telling you, they got really good perimeter defense. They're holding teams to 26.1% from 3, the lowest mark in the country. And I think that the only teams that can really give Colgate a problem early would be a team like Iowa or Illinois that have like a dominant big man in Kofi Coburn and Luka Garza. Arkansas doesn't play that way. Arkansas is built around another one and done player in Moses Moody, and these are the type of teams that I'm attacking. They also have another weak seeding resume. In theory, like I said, a 3 seed, if a 4 seed should be between 13th to 16th, a 3 seed should be the 9th to 12th best team. Arkansas is 23rd, surrounded by 4, 5, and even 6 seeds. So it's not that wild for them to get upset. If it's not that wild for a 5 seed to get upset by a 12 or a 6 for 11, if Arkansas is the 23rd best team and is actually only as good as a 4, 5, or 6 seed, it wouldn't be crazy for them to get upset by a 13 seed in Colgate. And we've already seen kind of the recipe, if you want to cook up that pot, if the Cinderella story really has to start getting there, I think that we saw the way that you beat Arkansas in the tournament as a low-seeded team. In their last game that they played in the SEC tournament, Arkansas shot 6 for 26 from 3 as opposed to LSU's 9 for 19, and they just couldn't keep up with LSU's high volumes of threes. They have really good guards. They have Cameron Thomas, Javonte Smart, and Trenton Walford, which kind of reminds me of the trio that Colgate's going to be running out. All players that shoot really well from 3, shot makers, really cold-blooded killers from the arc. So I think that they're going to have some problems D'ing that up if they get cold from 3. The last team we're going to cover here is my favorite, Ohio. Now, this isn't a team that checks all the boxes on the stats. The numbers don't make sense as much as I felt they do for Colgate and Ohio, or Colgate and Liberty. This is just my favorite Cinderella team because this is the one team I think that I've identified that has the sister gene type aspect. When you have these Cinderella teams, like teams that have low seeds, you want something that everybody in that school can really rally around and really kind of have an identity from. And I think Jason Preston is that for Ohio. He's getting a lot of buzz right now. I'm probably not the first person to tell you this, but Jason Preston has a crazy story, something out of a movie. His mom dies of cancer in high school. He's living in an Orlando apartment with his mom's best friend's son. He doesn't have a dad. His dad is out of the picture. His aunt is his guardian that lives in Jamaica, so he's kind of doesn't have much to do or much places to go. He's living in this Orlando apartment. He's 6 foot, 140 as a senior in high school, averages 2 points per game. He didn't even think he was going to play ball in college. He ends up going to UCF as a student, and while he's there in like his first semester, so his boy tells him, yo, come to this AAU tournament, there's going to be coaches there, whatever. And then he goes to a prep school. So a prep school is kind of like it's not like a JUCO, but it's kind of like a JUCO, where you go to this prep school and you play basketball there, and you just kind of hope that you can transfer to a big time school. There's a C team, a B team, and an A team there. He plays on the C team at first, and then he works his way all the way up to the A team. And instead of kind of like trying to make it the conventional way on the A team, he actually goes all the way back down to the C team, makes his own highlight tape of him just saucing up people in the C team league or whatever. He puts that on Twitter, and he immediately gets an offer from Ohio. And now the rest is kind of history, man. He's averaging 17, 7, and 7 on a tournament team. If we're looking at Ohio as a team, they're a legit top 30 offense. They're pretty good from three on the line. They don't turn the ball over much. They have 3 juniors and seniors in the starting lineup. Now, this is a solid team. They have a lot of shot makers. They're playing against a team in Virginia that I would usually say, okay, they don't have a lot of shot makers. They play defense, but this Virginia team's a little bit different. They're actually better at offense than they are at defense this year, which maybe will be a weird dynamic for Tony Bennett. And I would say that if it was a normal Virginia team, I would say, okay, Ohio can just come out there, make shots, hope that Virginia can't make shots. This is a Virginia team that can make shots, but they're coming off a COVID pause. They had to withdraw from the ACC tournament because of COVID. One of their players either got it or contact tracing. So it's not that they're going to be like recovering from COVID. It's that a lot of times when they shut down like that, your team's not going to practice for a week, 2 weeks. There's going to be a lot of quarantining. There's going to be a lot of staying up in the hotel, not being able to condition. And it wouldn't surprise me if Virginia went out there, they didn't look great, if they got off to a slow start. They're only favored, they're only favored by 7 points right now. So I've personally seen crazier things happen in March. So I don't think it's that out of the question to see Ohio upset Virginia in the first round, and maybe even go past that. If you made it this far, man, I appreciate it. Make sure you go down below, subscribe, leave a like, join the Discord down below. This is usually a fantasy football channel, but on the Discord, man, if you want to hop on there, if you like college football or you like college basketball, you also like football, fantasy football, make sure you go down below, join the Discord. We are probably going to we already have like a March Madness chat. I would love to talk some March Madness during the games and stuff. I really just want to grow this community, not only just around football, but just around people that love sports in general and love March Madness, love the NFL, love college football, all of the above, man. But I love all the support we've been getting on this channel, man. I want to start kind of branching out a little bit. We're going to be definitely focusing on football. I want to start doing 2 to 3 football videos a week, but then maybe 1 to 2 basketball or other type of videos a week. You know, I kind of want to start diversifying the content, having fun, talking about what I want to talk about. Because no, I do love football, and I will always talk about football. But I also love basketball, man. Basketball, I played that growing up too. And they're just 2 sports that I really love, and it's hard to kind of find the balance of having both on the channel. But I think that we're gonna get there, especially during this kind of like low point. We have free agency going on right now, and I'm kind of just sitting here with my hands under my ass, just sort of waiting for the dust to settle, you know. So without further ado, man, make sure you follow me at @RonStewart_ on Twitter, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Dirty soda and styrofoam. Spend a day to get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200 miles on the dash. Gotta roll a pound up a gas. Switching lanes in the Grand Rapids. We the one that kept it cool.